Donald, how's it going?
Very well, thank you. Yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Hey, I'm glad we finally made this happen. It's- What are we here for? So, hey, you're our lead, our M365 lead at Nodero, and look, we've got a lot of clients and people wanting to use AI, but don't really know where to start. And so we thought it would be good to put something together short and sweet where we can demonstrate some real world use cases. And I think what we see a lot online on YouTube, there's a ton of tutorials out there on AI automation, uh, often centered around N8N, Make.com, and some other fantastic automation frameworks. But our clients are very often Microsoft shops. And so Copilot, and they're not using the tools I make. They can't. So we thought, hey, let's put something together where we can show some of this, the common concrete use cases, and yeah. So let's go from there. So what are we starting with today?
Okay, so today's demonstration, we've got a use case around emails. So a lot of, everyone has emails. Everyone doesn't like sorting their emails, but a lot of organizations that we deal with, some of them have very specific requirements around records management, in which case you actually have to keep your emails nice and organized. So um, today's one, we're going to show you how we can use AI and Power Automate, nice and simple, to go through, sort out, have it classify your emails, and then perform some actions based on what the AI decides.
Okay, so just before we dive in, Outlook has rules. I've got like a ton of rules on my inbox. So what does this bring? What's the difference here?
So the difference, most of your Outlook rules are based on a specific keyword or tangible thing. So, does this have an attachment? Does the subject contain the specific words? Whereas the AI has the ability to go and look across the whole email and to take a decision based on, context and summary based, from the whole email. And the other thing about using Power Automate is it allows you to perform actions that are not necessarily inside the Outlook rules. One we've come across for a client, for example, was based on the name of an email attachment. Outlook doesn't have a inbuilt rule for that, but if you go through Power Automate, you can grab the attachment and then based on the name of the attachment, do some things with it.
All right. Hey, that sounds good. Okay, so let's dive in. Anything else we need to know before we start?
Yeah, just Power Automate, and let's have a look. So I'll share my screen. All right, so this one here is basically the we're using as an email triage. Looks pretty simple, but I'll go through quickly and explain step by step how this thing works. So using the inbuilt trigger when a new email arrives, we then fire up the AI classification. So I've told it to use the classify model. The text is, that's your email there. And then these categories here are what the AI is using to determine a result. These are custom, so you can put whatever you want in here. You can be as specific or as general as you want to be, depending on what you need.
So is that all that for the classifying? You're not having to define how it decides what a support request is. The model itself figures that out.
Yeah, so the way that it works is the model is trained on taking these input categories, turning them into a set of numbers. It will take the input text and turn that into a set of numbers, and whichever set of numbers is closest, it will decide that that is the category that it is going to use.
All right, cool.
And so then what we've got here is based on the result of that, we can then perform different actions. So for this one here, if it turns out it was a support request, we can move the email.
Move it to another folder?
Yeah, so this one here is just
forwarding it to another user, or?
You can forward it. You have the beautiful thing about this is that it's Power Automate. So if you go and look at these new actions here, you've got 400 and something different connectors that you can use to do an action with it. You can, if you've got permissions to, you could have it update a CRM, have it, and this one here, we're drafting a response. You can have the AI do some more stuff with it. It's Power Automate. The world is your oyster.
Okay, so we've got moving it, forwarding it, drafting an email message here.
Okay. So yeah, this one here, creating a reply. So someone's applied for a job. So I've asked the AI in the style of a professional executive assistant, create a response. I will be the person sending it. And then this is the body of the email that was sent to us. And then it takes the information that came back from the AI and creates an email that sits in the drafts waiting for us to double check that we're happy with it before we send it off to our lovely applicant.
All right. That's pretty straightforward. Is it, you know, how much knowledge do you need to have, do you think, of Power Automate to start doing this type of thing? Is it, if you have made some, I don't know, basic approval workflows, is it pretty easy to utilize some of the AI tools?
If you've already done an approval workflow, this should be pretty easy. They're all inbuilt connectors. There's no, they're all using either hard-coded thing, destinations, or dynamic content that is already pre-built for you. There's no expressions here. You don't need to know PowerFX or any other programming language or anything like that. It's all good out-of-the-box stuff.
Great. All right. What's
other things we can do? So with this workflow here, we've got an urgency check. So we're using that classifier again on the same information, but we've just changed the categories so that we've got high priority or normal are the two options. And then based on that, if it decides it's a high priority, we have the AI then go and create a summary of the information and post that into Teams to say, hey guys, urgent email was received from this person about this. This is a quick summary. You need to go and look at this. Other options for things that you could do with that, you could look at doing something about a sentiment analysis. So, for example, if you've got a extremely negative response, people are complaining about something, you might want the AI to tell you, okay, yes, this is a complaint, and to ping someone in Teams to get that looked at urgently as well.
Okay, so I guess just let's recap what we've done. So often, with AI, people say, we want AI. How do we use it? We don't know. And I know there's a whole lot of chatter and memes about that online. But so what we're saying here is you need to start with a problem, and you need to look at where can AI help. And so we've seen it doing triage or classification. We've seen it be able to detect the urgency of something. We've seen it being able to summarize. You've mentioned that it can do sentiment analysis, and then I guess there's a whole lot of actions based on that. So forwarding it, putting it into a folder, drafting a response, raising, alerting it, or going sort of cross-channel if there's a need to sort of raise that priority. Is that right? Anything I've missed so far?
No, that's the good simple stuff. It's going to cover 90% of your email use cases.
Cool. All right. What are the risks? So someone builds this Power Automate and then put it in production. Do they need to do anything inside their inbox or inside their Outlook, or is that all part of what's been set up here in that Automate itself? How does it know that it runs on your email inbox as opposed to your colleagues, or that's just part of this trigger?
Yep, so the trigger has a connection reference in it. So when I go and look at that, it tells me that this is connected to this particular inbox. If you were doing this for yourself, then that's fine. In this kind of scenario that I am the AI info user, you can do this on a shared mailbox. There is a specific trigger for when an email arrives in a shared mailbox that comes out of the box from Power Automate. And so if you're using, you use a service account for that, so that you don't lose it when one of the people inevitably wins lotto and takes off.
All right, so let's see what it looks like on the front, eh?
All right. Our lovely email box here, and sending the email. It's a job application, so we're just going to send that through. And then we come into here, we can see that the job is at the inbox. And we will sit here and discuss for a second while we wait for the Power Automate to go through. So as per the workflow, we would expect the AI to analyze it, stick it into the job applications folder, and then a new item to appear in the drafts. Usually takes about 30 to 40 seconds, so shouldn't be too far away.
Okay. Oh, it's gone.
Job applications and a second item in drafts. So email there. And it says here, thank you for your application. AI has lovely added a subject line, so we'll need to adjust the prompt to fix that. But
nice.
That has correctly given us a nice professional email that we would be happy to just grab that.
Can we template it? Would it be easy to be Dear Donald?
It's picking up. So in this example, Minnie Mouse sent us an email, so that has correctly readdressed her. Okay. AI is pretty good at picking that up. You could, you don't have to have AI do the prediction here. You could set up a template in the body here. We've just gone with AI because it gives a little more personalization each time.
Sure. Very cool. And what are some of the other gotchas? Like I know that, as we're working with clients trying to access even the AI models, it's not necessarily by default on in all Power Automate environments. What are the kind of gotchas people should be thinking about as they try to do this? What do they need to think about?
So one thing to look at would be around the pricing models. Different ways of using the AI have different pricing models. So for this example, we're using the predict model, the predict action out of the AI builder, which is a set of capabilities that comes through the Power Platform. You get given a set of credits for using the AI builder from your licenses that you have on the tenant. Those need to be turned on in the background. So if they're not turned on for your particular tenant or environment, I believe that's at a tenant level actually, then you won't be able to use these. There are several other ways that you can use AI as well. There is the Dataverse connector, which has a perform an unbound action. The problem with that one, though, is that will cost you 60 US cents per run, which is quite steep if you're trying to run that on a mailbox that's getting 14,000 emails every 6 months.
Yeah, like we're talking with a lot of clients around, it's that support level, right? It's just a volume that's just not possible with a person, or currently it's 3 people, pretty much their job. So that's the real value, but that pricing's really important. And I guess that's one of the big things we're finding. So just testing that out and sort of thinking about that. And I guess the other thing I've seen is around permissions. AI as a whole is I know with certain clients it's turned on or turned off by default on environments because they don't want everyone going crazy and running up large bills. And so maybe they'll have a different environment which is AI enabled. Or you've got various permissions. And so working with your IT team to make sure you can do what you want to do. And that's just something that often comes up as we're trying to work with clients too.
Other ones we've seen include things like data sovereignty. So, for example, you could go into here and just call the OpenAI API, but then that's sending your data off to American servers somewhere. Whereas if you're using the inbuilt Microsoft stuff, that stays inside your tenant and your Microsoft ecosystem. So, less concerns around data sovereignty on that front.
Cool. Any other sort of, I don't know, tips or tricks that people who are just starting out trying to build one or two things and get a good understanding of the capabilities? Have you got any other sort of advice that just will help?
I would keeping it simple and making sure that you understand the process and what you actually want it to do before you go and throw AI at it. A lot of times it's just a case of if you optimize the process and do it properly, then the AI is just an extra that can do some cool stuff. But if you keep the main focus around optimizing the process and AI is just another tool that can help with that, then you're going to go far. You'll get some good value out of it.
Yeah, and I guess the other thing I would just point out is around just that low risk. In this example you've shown, you're drafting an email. I presume you can send it if you want to, but it makes a lot of sense to create a draft. Once you've got a really good understanding of how that's performing, is that 99% exactly what you want, not having to change the email, not having to fix things, maybe then you can automatically send and save yourself a step. But while you're learning, just keep that risk
100%.
down. Don't do high risk updates to databases. Being mindful of that.
One client, they were happy enough. We had one that was, if they received a certain type of email, they would automatically forward it off to another team. They were happy enough that because it was staying internal, that the risk of the internal team receiving the wrong email wasn't, the false negative rate wasn't high enough to start annoying people, and the original email is still there anyway. Whereas if you're looking to deal with, this job applications ones where you're dealing with an external party, then absolutely go with the draft first, unless you're very confident that your AI classification results are coming through as you'd expected. It's never going to be 100% just because numbers are numbers, but for example, if you get an email that's asking 2 questions, it might end up in 2. It might genuinely belong to both categories, but the AI's got to pick one.
Right. Okay. Well, let's keep it short-ish and sweet. So this has been awesome. I guess for those of you watching, there's a lot of information out there, of course, and a lot of other tutorials, and often it's just having the capacity or just the momentum. So if you want to chat about it, we're happy to sort of give a bit of advice or build some of these things out for you, and just get in touch with us through LinkedIn or through our website nodero.com. But I think that's been really useful, and look forward to seeing what other flows and uses of Copilot we can show people over the next couple of months. Cheers, Donald.
No worries. Have a good one.